Do you often feel overwhelmed with the constant need to meet those expectations and emotional needs of the spouse and your children? Or maybe you're constantly seeking validation from family, but you really struggle to receive it. Maybe oftentimes you feel taken advantage of, or you find that you're avoiding conflict even when you know it's needed and you're sacrificing your own emotional well being, but yet you still avoid that conflict. Or maybe you feel empty and confused about who you are beyond your family, even though you have a wonderful family, you love your spouse, you love your children, you still feel all this. It could be because you're allowing outside validation to define your self worth. This is a common thing for INFJs. We're allowing that outside validation to define our self worth, and it's sneaky. We don't even realize it's happening. This is what I'm going to talk about today. So, welcome to my channel. If we haven't met before, I'm Trina Bretnell. I'm an INFJ coach. I'm so glad that you found my channel, and I hope you find it helpful. If you're returning, thanks for returning. I appreciate you guys so much for watching. All right, let's dig into this. I'm an INFJ, so this is why I decided to do this, because I know it can be a struggle. And some of the things we struggle with, we don't even realize that's what's going on. And this is one of them. Is letting all that outside validation define our self-worth, define who we are, which in turn actually will hack on our self-worth. So INFJs, we are known for keeping other people happy, right? With our high empathy and our sensitivity, our main goal is to keep harmony with everyone, right? Everybody around us has to be happy and feel safe and secure, and that's like our main goal. We will prioritize our family's needs over our own. We're devoted, we're trustworthy, we take it very seriously. Our relationships with loved ones are very serious to us, and they're a priority. However, it can actually turn on us because we get so super focused that we'll forget who we are and we'll lose ourselves in it. So we'll push aside our own needs because we're the devoted parent or the devoted spouse, and we won't worry about it. And we think it's not doing anything, but it actually does. It actually does cause issues. It can lead to impacting our self-worth. So identifying only as the parent or spouse, we neglect our own identity. And when I say identifying only as a parent or spouse, I don't mean it like that. It's just oftentimes that's just how we'll identify ourselves, is as the parent or the spouse. And this really impacts our identity, which is a big, big deal when we lose our identity, because we lose the connection with our authentic self. We always put other people first, so we validate our feelings that we aren't worthy. When we're constantly putting everybody else first, it's internally validating those feelings that we're not worthy. So inside, our brain is being like, yep, not worthy, here we go again. We will feel unappreciated, which will hack on our self-worth quite often. When we're constantly putting other people first and doing so much for them, I don't think that people do this on purpose, but they'll just keep taking and taking and not even realize that we're doing it, because we don't realize we're doing this. And then all of a sudden we'll be like, well, they don't even appreciate me. Why am I doing all this? Nobody appreciates what I do. And we'll start coming down on ourselves, which will impact our self-worth drastically. So why do we do this as an INFJ? Why do we let this get out of hand? Well, like I said earlier, lots of times we don't even realize it's going on because we are so hyper focused on our loved ones, making sure they're looked after and they're happy and feeling safe and all that, because that's what we do. That's part of us. However, it could be because growing up, we weren't allowed to be our individual self. It was not, individuality was not respected at all growing up. So this taught us that we are not supposed to be an individual. We're devoted to our family, our friends, and that's just who we are, because that's what was taught to us when we were younger, right? Perfectionism is a huge one for INFJs, and this can actually impact it. So maybe we internalized a belief that our self-worth, like our worth, is based on meeting external standards of perfection. So there we go. With our family, that's what we're doing, right? Or it could even stem back from a fear of abandonment from past experience of neglect or abandonment itself. Maybe you were abandoned as a child. So we pack this with us. And then this is how we start being that devoted parent and identifying only with that. Again, I said only, but you know what I mean. I don't mean you're just a parent. Being a parent it's an amazing job. It's like one of the hardest jobs I've ever had to do. It's super important, and being a spouse, right? However, we do tend to lose ourselves with it, especially as an INFJ, because we get so super focused. And the underlying issues, just like I mentioned, could be contributing to it. So it's a lot of fun to dig deeper into what's going on if you're feeling empty or you're feeling taken advantage of, or maybe you're constantly showing up to this job that you really, really, really hate, but you're doing it because you've got people at home that's depending on you, and this is who you are. You're their father, or you're their mother, that sort of thing. When you start digging deep into it and tracking it all back and looking at all the things that are going on and how they play together, and there's the underlying issue, then it's easier to face and start rectifying and switching it around. Not saying you need to go get a new family. Definitely not. Not saying that at all, but changing what we do. So, how do we do that? After we identify what's going on, self reflection. Get to know your own needs, your values, this sort of thing. This will help identify the lack of boundaries. Boundaries is essential for this, for when we're seeking validation from outside sources, or we're allowing the validation to define our self worth. Boundaries is essential. We need those boundaries, and INFJs do not like boundary work. Quite often, it makes us feel weird and we'll avoid it, and it's something that is essential to us. A piece of advice that was given to me a long time ago, a lady told me that the things that we avoid most in life are generally the things that we need to do. And INFJ, this is true when it comes to boundary work. Oftentimes we will avoid the boundaries, right? Because with boundaries, sometimes it comes conflict or that sort of thing. We don't like that. So we'll avoid it, or the fear of hurting people's feelings, that sort of thing. We don't like that. However, it's essential. Now, part of the boundary work, when we're dealing with basing our self-worth on all the external things going on, is practicing self-validation for ourselves. And what I mean by that is celebrating your wins, your own wins. It doesn't have to be big wins, and you don't have to throw yourself a party, because that would be horrible for an INFJ, throwing yourself a party. But celebrate your wins. Acknowledge them. You just have to give yourself a pat on the back. You just have to say, thank you. Thank you, Trina, for doing this. Thank you. That's all you have to do. You acknowledge it for yourself, and it's amazing what an impact it makes internally on ourselves. Another thing is seek support from a therapist, a trusted friend, even a coach. Together with my clients, we explore the challenges and goals related to the validation and boundaries and figure it out together. So you're not by yourself. I help you identify patterns, feelings, the triggers, and provide a safe space to express those feelings that you need to express. Holding them in is not great. We need to express them, we need to feel them, and we need a safe space to do it. I help develop skills, skill develop. I help you speak backwards and understand how to speak backwards. Just kidding. I speak backwards lots. That's my ASD coming out in me. Anyways, we do skill development. So I teach tools that I've found that have helped me along the way, strategies to improve assertiveness, to improve communication, and to help with self-confidence, just to name a few. And I mean, you don't have to get a coach. You could do all this with a trusted friend, somebody that you can fully trust, that you're not going to feel they're taking advantage of you, or it doesn't feel like they're always putting their needs before yours, because that's always how it's been. So just be mindful of that. I hope you found this helpful. Thanks for watching me and sticking with me this far. If you found it helpful, please give me a thumbs up or like my video. Please feel free to share it. The more times it's shared, the more INFJs we get to help. And really, that's all what it's about. And I invite you to consider subscribing to my channel. Until then, I will talk to you later, and just be mindful of this. If this is what's going on, if you could relate to a few of the things that I said at the opening, feeling taken advantage of, constantly seeking validation from family, feeling overwhelmed with that constant need to meet expectations and emotional needs of the spouse and the child. This could be what's going on. So just be mindful of it. It doesn't have to be that way. Anyways, I'm going to let you go. Thanks for joining, and I will talk to you soon. Bye for now.